week, Lab TV travels to a Navy research lab in Chino Lake, California, where scientists are teaching computers to recognize images. Every day, the Navy sends airplanes out to patrol dangerous locations. And as they fly, they take millions of pictures. But how can they look through all those images and figure out what's important?
We'd like to be able to send an aircraft or an unmanned aerial vehicle to a certain location and be able to find things. To do that, you have to be able to recognize objects or places or buildings, or you have to be able to recognize that's a car, that's a tank, that's a ship. And so that's the whole idea of pattern recognition, being able to recognize things just from an image.
Pattern recognition is also used by computers at the post office when they sort your mail.
The post office doesn't sort mail by hand, the thousands or millions of pieces of mail. They have systems that do optical character recognition, which basically means they take a picture of the envelope and extract out the zip codes, in some cases even the address, and that's how they know where to sort each envelope. Well, this one goes there, this one goes there.
Computers are pretty good at recognizing zip codes, but they have a much harder time than we do with images and photographs.
Our brains do a very good job of being able to recognize people if they are facing us, broadside, looking up, looking down. We still say, hey, that's my friend Bob. Teaching a computer to recognize Bob when it's always looked at Bob straight on, turn Bob to the side, computer says, that's somebody else, I don't know who that is.
That's because computer brains are not as flexible as human brains. So how are the scientists teaching computers? It's all about the math. They're writing math programs to help computers identify the patterns in images of ships, tanks, locations, and even people.
So if we had an image of your face, we'd have a representation, some numbers that represent your eyes and your nose and your chin. And we take all those together and then use those to say, hey, it's a face that we're looking at.
The team is also teaching computers to recognize images with a lot less information. I bet you would have a hard time figuring out this image. It only has 120 pixels.
On your top left, you have your high-resolution image, but those are too large. You have too many pixels to work with. So we want to work in this downsample, low-resolution domain so that you're able to still recognize the person, but now we're doing it with less pixels.
The team is also planning to put these programs in robots, so they will be able to recognize images while they do their jobs. This little guy has 2 eyes, just like a person, so he sees in stereo vision.
Stereo vision works like human vision. The robot has 2 cameras and 2 eyes. It can use those 2 cameras to triangulate on objects so that they know how far away they are. The robots will ultimately be able to identify obstacles in their path, be able to know what the obstacle is, where it is, and how to get around it.
Teaching a machine to recognize images takes a lot of math and a lot of hard work, but it's a big step towards making computers even smarter. To find out more about computer vision, check out labtvonline.org.